From Coconut Grove to Wynwood, Miami is alive with art. We wanted to get inside the real street art scene, so I caught up with my brethren, Jason Fitzroy. He's a Bajan transplant here in Miami, and he's going to give us a little bit more insight about what's hot and popping in this destination.
Ever since I caught my vision, so I straight like a lion, speaking tongues to stare demons, save the world and seduce your girl in time for the weekend. What you saying, Dread? Is what I asked me when they strutted. I crack a smile and nod, trod along and say nothing. Cause in these times I ain't got time for idle chatter. And if you really vibing, then you
There's so much we can say about you, Jason. You're a musician, you're a writer. I hear you do some ghostwriting on the side as well. You're working on an exciting new film project.
Yeah.
But let's start with your music career, because as Caribbean people, music is sometimes our first foray into the artistic world. Tell me about your music.
Well, I've always been into music, and I think maybe about 10 years ago it was, I decided to leave journalism behind full-time and branch off into music and launch my career as Fitzroy, which is my middle name, and performed all around Miami.
There's a big movement for art and culture in Barbados. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, I think the interesting that's happening in Barbados is there's a lot of fusion going on, because that first song that you would have seen has elements of reggae, a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of soul, and there are a lot of, you know, artists in Barbados who are doing that, you know, who are hip-hop artists who are fusing reggae and dancehall, or soul artists who are fusing reggae and hip-hop. You know, it's all big mix-up, you know?
Yeah.
So,
all kind of
yeah, yeah.
Fitzroy, the slugs they hit, boys aim is right. Then watch the way we move and strain the sight. Watch the eyebrows touch like they came to fight. But I ain't got nothing to prove, nothing to lose.
Now, Jason, you're a true Caribbean Renaissance man. You're mixing the art, the literature, and the exploration of new territories. Give us a sense of what led you to Miami and what it has been like for you pursuing your journalism career out here in the U.S.
Well, you know, Miami is interesting in that, you know, a lot of people compare it to New York in that there's this huge mix of all these different cultures. But whereas in New York, everybody lives on top of each other, in Miami, everybody lives next to each other.
Spread out.
Yeah. So it's almost like a frontier town. You can come here and you can really make your mark on the city, because it's a young city. It has not been defined in certain aspects yet. And I feel as if there's so many Caribbean people here, there's so much Caribbean flavor here, but it's still coming into its own, it's still making its mark on the city, and that's something that I'm excited to be a part of, you know.
Definitely. Now, you recommended Wynwood Walls as a great location for us to meet up with you and get a taste of what the art culture is like in Miami. Tell us about this location and this amazing art we're surrounded by.
Well, you know, Wynwood is interesting because it was actually, started out as a Puerto Rican community back in the 1950s. And in the last 10, 15 years or so, it was a very industrial area, a lot of warehouses. A lot of artists started moving their galleries here and their workshops here, their studios here, because it was, you know, rent was cheap, and that's where artists need to go. And what has emerged since then is this thriving community of artists and gallerists, and now restaurants and boutiques, and it's really the epicenter of so much of Miami's street art scene and grungy like art culture. And if you just look on all the walls everywhere, there's color everywhere, you know. It's very Caribbean.
Energy,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not sure if I'm in Port of Spain or Kingston or Wynwood.
Right.
Which is great. Now, you're also working on a new film project. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so last year, along with my partner Keisha with us, when we have a company called Third Horizon Media, and we want to do Caribbean films that portray the Caribbean or investigate the Caribbean with a level of nuance that you haven't necessarily seen before. So our first project is a short film called Papa Machete, and it's about the mysterious martial art of Haitian machete fencing.
Wow.
Which is not very
Haitian
well known.
machete fencing.
Yeah, so you know, everybody in the Caribbean has a cutlass or a Collins or a machete. In Haiti, there's actually a martial art which dates back to the revolution, where the slaves freed themselves with this technique of fighting, and we thought that was so fascinating, so we had to go down there and make a film on it.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
You have to keep us posted with that project, and we'll come back and deal with some Haitian gangsters, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Mbabote wanga, mbabote wanga,
Still to come on Dial and Xclusive.
But I'm super excited. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be too much fun. I cannot wait.
I already see myself in some Chandra wear.